Well, wrestling fans, welcome to this week's episode, SICW All Star Wrestling. And as I tell you, each and every Sunday night, I bring a bigger guest, and I'm telling you, I can't think of a bigger guest as the road to SICW Fan Fest 3 is getting closer. Each day, we are counting down the days, and tonight, my special guest, and I know he's a special guest for all of you wrestling fans, I'm talking about the man himself, Kevin Von Erich. Kevin, thanks for joining us here on All Star Wrestling.
My pleasure, Herb. How are you today, buddy?
Fine, buddy. I tell you, it looks like you got some sunny weather right there, and I tell you, it's getting closer. I am so honored and excited that we've been able to get the schedule together. We've been trying to do this for several years, and to have you part of SICW Fan Fest 3 is just, I think, puts it on the top of the bucket list.
Well, Herb, I remember my first memory. Well, I was woke up. I was wet and cold, and some guy grabbed me by the ankle and picked me upside down, slapped my butt, and I didn't know anybody in the room, and I started crying. I was embarrassed. Anyway, I've been looking for that Phil ever since. But I was born over there at St. Louis Hospital, and I hear they tore it down, but Belleville's my hometown, and I've always loved St. Louis with Sam Muchnick and Larry Matuszek and the Gargiola family and everybody. Man, I love St. Louis, always did.
Well,
So
and
good.
I,
And my brother Dave got his start there too.
Oh yeah, I mean, the wrestling number one wrestling family was the Von Erichs, and I've used the in trivia contest. I can't tell you how many times we've won that with that question on where was Kevin Von Erich Barnett, and everybody'd say, "Oh, Denton, Texas," or here or there, and as I told you before. St. Elizabeth's Hospital is a block away from where my day job is, and every time I drive by there, I say, I know the guy that was born there, Kevin Von Erich. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Well,
again, to have you a part of this year's Fan Fest, I mean, for the last 2 years, we've tried to work the schedule, and you have just been staying busy with the movie that came out and, out making appearances. And then, of course, keeping up with the boys. I hear the boys are doing great, and I got to get them up here one day and get them in the ring.
oh yeah, wouldn't that be great? Yeah. Well, your show is on the 23rd, right?
No,
And so,
May 16th and 17th.
April 16th and
No,
17th?
no, May 16th and 17th.
Ah, wow, it's going to be my birthday right there. I'm going to be like a salmon.
Yeah, yeah, May 16th, Friday night. Your good friend Bill Apter will be there doing his question and answer session that Friday evening. And then May 17th, we do the Fan Fest. Got a lot of your old friends coming in. Abdullah the Butcher will be there with us. The Rock and Roll Express, Tito Santana, Dr. D, David Schultz, Dan DeBee Severin. And like I said, the list is just growing. Sabu will be there. Bill Alfonso, Fonzie, back from the ECW days. So it's a who's who. But then we put Kevin Von Erich's name there. People are just saying, "Oh my gosh, Kevin's coming back to St. Louis." So again, it's going to be a great time, May 16th and 17th.
Well, it will be. And I'm looking forward to it, Herb, and hope you have a good show. And we talked about this for a long time, and so I'm glad I can finally come up there.
Yeah, it's going to be good, and because as you said, St. Louis was always special to you. As I told you off camera here, I'm trying to get Pat Matasek to get her a little better shape because when I told her I had you scheduled to come in, she just brightened up because Pat always loved Kevin.
Yeah, well, I love her too. You make sure that I want her to be feeling good, and so thank you, Herb. Thank you for taking good care of her, and I'm hoping looking forward to seeing her soon too.
Right. So I know you've been out doing appearances. How's the movie going? It seems like it's getting great reviews. You still happy with it?
Well, yeah, Herb. I have to say, Herb. I didn't get a penny from that movie. I didn't do anything like that. They didn't even call me to tell the truth. It was just, the guy was doing he called, the director called me and he told me it was a labor of love to him, that he'd always loved the Von Erichs from over there in England, watched us on Screen Sports over there. and and that he was doing his best, and I didn't want to tell him, didn't want to disappoint the guy, but Herb, I've had a lot of brain concussions, and like so my ears ring really loud. I really so I don't go to movies anymore, because I can't hear the audio, and
Right.
so and so. But they played the movie for me, and I said, "Oh, great movie, good job, fellas. What pros these guys are." And because they wanted me to put them over so bad, and because I understand why they spent $20 million, and I don't want to be some ass that's gonna tear all that down for nothing. So I was going to be nice about it, but then I listened to the movie where they put the captions on, and I thought, oh man, I spoke too soon because my dad was a great man. I love my dad so much, and people want to believe that it's Hollywood. It's a movie based on um, the truth, but as
Yeah.
Hollywood people, and I'll tell you this too, Herb. I'm a Christian, and I wouldn't even be standing here if God hadn't held me up, held my hand through that, and just persevere, but I'm going to tell you that in Hollywood they don't believe in God, and you're not going
No.
to hear that there, and so you're just not. That's not my story, and
Well,
so I hope people enjoyed it, but
I'll be honest with you, Kevin, because that's how I am. I have not watched it because I've had fans tell me their uh, uh, what they when they went and saw it. When they told me that there was a part in it that they kind of portrayed Fritz as Sam and Sam not getting along. Um, that's not what I remember. There was numerous times that I was in the office at Sam's office, and Larry, I would go with him, and your dad would be scheduled for on the card at Tequila Auditorium on a Friday night, and I saw nothing but respect from Fritz to Sam, and that was vice versa. Uh,
yeah, Herb, think of this. Remember, well, you didn't see the movie though, but there's a point in the movie where Fritz is talking to his sons about that NWA, how they always screw me. Those guys are a bunch of, like that. But people don't realize that my dad was the president of the NWA. He
sure
was the
was,
NWA, and so
sure
they just
was, and
missed on that one too.
well, they and then they told me and again I don't know the actors who they had, but they said the guy who was portraying Harley Race was punching with his right hands. Well, I hate to tell him, but the Harley I knew threw the left haymaker all the time, and so
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just things like that that I
Well,
said
I'll
it's a
say
good
this.
thing I didn't go and watch it because I'd be the fan in the audience that would stand up and say, "Wait a minute, that's not right."
Yeah,
So
they didn't, and they Harley should be okay with that because I thought the guy did pretty well compared to the guy that played Ric Flair.
yeah, I
I
heard
mean,
that. Yeah.
a lot of people didn't like him, but I want to tell you, there was a time we were wrestling. And I remember Harley, and the guy hit it right on the net. The guy Hope McCallum that played Fritz, he's a great guy.
Uh-huh.
We're
Yeah.
still friends too. But he was, uh, Fritz was. Oh, I was going to tell you something about that. Oh yeah. So Fritz is telling him, oh, was he stomping him? He says, oh, God, darn it. That's what I get for trying to think of two stories at once. Now
Well,
I can't remember what I was going to tell you about.
it'll come back to you. But the one thing I wanted to ask you, and the fans talk about it all the time. There's a video, a tape that we have from St. Louis when you were there. Do you remember the time that you put Larry Matisek in the leg scissors?
Yeah,
Uh,
I
remember
sure
you
do.
remember yeah, he was talking about how strong your legs were, and he said, "Well, can we go ahead and you show me right here?" And it was on a TV taping, and we
Yeah,
still have that tape, and I play it often. I might do it for this episode this week because it was so the way it was put together. Larry takes his coat off, and you lay him down and put him in the scissors, and you're explaining how you. And then Mickey Gary Jola gets down there and asks him if he wants to submit. I was just wondering if you remember doing that.
yeah. I was just a little kid, and I thought, man, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, well, I've never seen Dad do anything like this before. I hope I'm not messing up the show. But yeah, I showed Larry that, tried to explain the body scissor to him, squeezing those short ribs down there, and I was
Yeah.
so afraid I
Well,
was going to hurt him.
Well, and then when you had it on him, and he said, "Well, this really don't hurt," and then you kind of rolled up on him, and he said, "Whoa, wait a minute!"
Uh-huh. Yeah. He
When you're
said
playing
it didn't hurt.
professional.
And I thought, you don't know how hard I'm trying to make sure it doesn't hurt. You know?
Oh yeah, but there is we talked about earlier before we came on the wrestling at the Chase was a program, and I know you weren't part of it back then, back when it started in 1959 on television. But the tuxedos the gentlemen's wore, they had the tablecloths, and the ladies were dressed up. Those were the days of professional wrestling, and that's what I told you. My mother was she never did like the bad guys, and of course, your dad was one of my favorites back then. And because when he applied that claw hold, you knew the bell was going to be ringing real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually have a memory where I remember being with my dad or with my mother watching dad wrestle, and they're having, food in front of us and drinks and people smoking and having fun. So I think, man, that's another thing, Herb. I go back so far. I'm such an old guy now. Back when I wrestled, people smoked in
yeah,
well, the first part of my career anyway.
sure. And do you remember the match that David had against Harley? And
Yeah,
you
boy,
and your dad were at ringside.
Dave came alive, didn't he?
Oh my
Uh,
gosh! And that's when Harley uh, uh, got up on the rope and was going to come off, and David caught him in the claw.
oh
And
man, Dave could go into a counter or a reversal faster than anyone I've ever seen. We all have like 20 counters to whatever holds we're in, or 20 little reversals or little takedowns, or so and so many ways to pin out of that position. But Dave, it came to him just immediately, and he just had a gift at that. He was so quick. And he
exactly.
learned a lot by wrestling great men like Harley Race. Harley
Oh
was
yeah,
he's a battleship.
yeah. And Harley always loved the matches that he had with Dave. It was he'd always talk about him. There was high hopes for Dave. Just a tragedy that happened. But another question that people always yeah, and you'll get people ask you that when you come in for the fan fest is, how did you start wrestling barefooted?
Well, I love football. Football was my first love, and I had some knee injuries. I had a big knee injury, and then I rehabbed it too quick. I was real gung ho, one of those guys that was going to be first. And so I wrecked the other knee, compensating for the limp, and with two knee surgeries, my football career was over. And so as I went into wrestling, that weight on the end of your feet made a difference to me. I always like to move quick and have my agility when I thought I was almost handcuffed with those boots on. Because I'll tell you, Herb, without boots on, I can hold on to the ropes like a bird. I can pull your hair. I can even hold the ropes and get out of holes with it. And if we're fighting, then you sure don't want me barefoot, because I will get your hair and I'll bang your head good, because
Yeah.
my feet do things, and I'm lucky.
Oh, right. I'm telling you. I just saw some pictures here a week ago. I guess you had a show or something there at the ranch, and you had a good friend of mine there, Miranda Gordy.
Oh yeah, yeah. She came out to the we put a wrestling show down in a barn, and oh, it was sellout crowd too, filled the place up. It was a
Great.
lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people had fun.
Yeah. Miranda's worked for me several times, and her, of course, I know her father, Bam Bam, did a lot of work with you guys. He did a few shows with Larry and I back in the days when he was still working with Bill Watts, and but I always liked Terry, and to have Miranda work for us, to kind of carrying on that tradition.
Huh. I was just thinking of Terry. I told her a story that Terry told me one time. Sad thing. Terry shot his dog. I said, "Well, hell, Terry, how'd that happen, man?" He said, "Oh, I was staying up real late. And I heard a sound outside. So I went out there, and Terry had been drinking, and so
Yeah, well, go figure.
so yeah, so we went outside with his 12 gauge, and he said, and he heard a sound coming from a bush there, and he said, I'm gonna fire on three," and he said, "One, two, boom, blew the bush away. And I said, I thought you were going to give him the count of three, Terry. And I said, I told him on three. Anyway, he shot his own dang dog. He was so
Oh,
sorry about that.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
Terry
yeah.
was one of a kind. I'll tell you that just unreal. Kevin, part of this fan fest we're doing, of course, it all surrounds the Bruiser Brody Memorial that I do every year, and I know Bruiser Brody was kind of special to the Von Erichs. Am I right in telling the fans that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he sure was. He was like a brother to us. He really was. Taught us so much. And what a heck of he was our weightlifting coach for a long time. And we loved Frank. He was something else. He was our brother.
Oh yeah, I remember having late night talks with him when he would come in town. I'd always try to bring him in the day before, and Larry and I and him would sit around and talk, and there would not be one conversation that we would have that he didn't have stories to talk about the Von Erich boys. Uh,
Well, Frank.
and I mean,
Man, hey,
he
I'm gonna
just
tell you this story just because I know you love Frank. Me too. But I had a dream about heaven one time, and it was almost like a city. And the name of this street was Washington Street. I thought, wow, Washington Street sounds like any city's got a Washington Street. And I was looking, I didn't know anyone, but there was Frank, Bruiser Brody was there, and his back was out, and there were a bunch of people all laughing and having fun, and he was laughing, but his back was out. And we leaned him over a car and and drove the car to his house, and we all walked along and joked with Frank while the car was driving real slow, and it was sure a good dream. But
oh
I'm going to see Frank again one day. I
oh
swear
I
about
I
that.
I know I do. There's a reason why I'm still here. I don't know what the answer is or why. You're not supposed to ask why, but I've lost so many good friends like him and Larry Matisek, and the short time that I got to be around Sam Muchnick. Sam taught me so much about the behind the scenes of the business, and of course, Frank introduced me to so many of the guys that have worked with me, and I've had the honor of working with. So I do believe that they're up there watching me and probably saying, "Why are you still doing that crazy thing we all call wrestling?" But
Yeah,
I often said if Frank was still here with us today, he'd be right involved in what I'm doing, and him and Larry both, and it would be great. But I know he's going to be watching us on May 16th and 17th when Kevin Von Erich joins us at SICW Fan Fest at the Hilton at the St. Louis Airport. If you haven't got your tickets yet, you go to sicw.org. I'm telling you, we've kept it real economical for you because we want you to come out and we want you to meet Kevin. We want you to talk to him, get an autograph, get pictures with him, and everybody else who's going to be there. He's going to have a bunch of his old uh, people out there. Like I said, Abdullah the Butcher, which I know Abdullah was in Texas with you for a while down there with Gary
hey
Hart.
Herb,
We'll see you soon, May 16th and 17th. Fans, we're going to
we'll
get
be
back to
there.
some action. We're going to
Come on,
show you
baby.
some action of Kevin Von Erich right now. So stay tuned.
SICW presents FanFest 3 St. Louis, May 16th and 17th. Hilton, St. Louis Airport. The Keena Koloff, Missy Hyatt, Gangrel, Teddy Long and Mac Davis, Tito Santana, and Bill Apter. More to come. SICW FanFest 3. For more info, SICW.org.
Body says you watch in slow motion as he clamps it on Ron Starr at the end of that match, and Starr desperately heads for the ropes. He knows how dangerous that body scissors is. It was quite a match between Ron Starr and our guest right now, Kevin Von Erich. Kevin, thanks for joining us after a hard match. Excellent match. Starr's a good competitor.
Well, thank you, Larry.
Of course, Bobby Duncombe will present some different problems.
Well, any wrestler, anytime he gets in the ring, he wants to come away with the win. But unfortunately, I didn't, but it was against a very tough competitor, and I'll say at least it wasn't a total loss because I learned a lot from him, and so I'm glad I wrestled him.
And of course, now against Bobby Duncombe, you're talking about things like forearm smashes, kicks, big brute strength. Completely different, really, from Ron Starr. How can you handle him with the body scissors, which almost beat Starr, be effective against Duncombe?
Well, now, the two styles are a lot different. A man like Duncombe, who you're talking about, is you don't know what to expect from him. You can get fist or a scratch in the eyes or whatever. But a guy like Ron Starr, I admire him. He gave me a fair match, and I really enjoyed it.
Are you satisfied with the development of your body scissors so far? It looked like you might have had a shot at getting Starr in that body scissors. How's it coming along?
The body scissor I'm really happy about it. It's my most powerful move. And as you were talking about Duncombe, it'll be very effective with him because I've studied him. He's got a good section between his short ribs and his pelvis, and you'd have to know a little about my hold, but that's where my hold is generated in that area.
And now you're talking rib cage?
Just below the rib cage, right?
Would it be easier if you could show it on somebody?
It'd be a lot easier if I showed it.
Mick, want to come up? Hey, I'll do it. As long as you don't kill me. Will you promise not to break me in half like you do those bags of wheat?
I'll just show you. I won't hurt you.
Promised. Okay, let me give the microphone to Mickey here.
I'm glad you decided you're going to do it, Larry. May the best man win.
Just so he knows it's soft through here. Easy to hand me down?
Yeah, it'd be easier for you to get down.
Okay.
You want to put your hip. Okay.
What's important now? The placement of where the legs go across or what?
Right here. Right here is his short ribs. And right here is kidneys and all sorts of stuff. And here's his hips. I like my legs like this.
You win. I give.
Wait.
Now put it a little tighter.
A little tighter, you say now?
Oh, nice guy. Just think if he breaks bags of wheat like this, like you do to me.
This is how it goes, but when I really clamp them on, Larry, I get my back into it, and I kind of you can see where the pressure comes from.
Yeah. Now you can use this as a pin too, though, really, right?
Right. Well, if I want to use it as a pin, I'll grab you from here.
Yeah.
And I'll just roll you straight back like. Yes. Ask him.
Do you give up?
I gave up a long time ago.
We still got time.
Oh! Now I can see why that body scissors does the job. Wait a minute, here comes Ron Starr. Oh, man. And you weren't even squeezing. Ron?
Larry, I just got one little thing I'd like to say. I've been a professional wrestler for almost 8 years. I knew this guy when he was just starting into high school. And Kevin, I want to tell you, you got a bright future, son. And if ever you need a tag team partner, you can damn sure count on me.
Ron Starr, Kevin Von Erich, opponents with a lot of respect for each other. I'll tell you something, I got a lot of respect for that body scissors. Kevin, thanks a lot. Kevin Von Erich, Ron Starr. We'll be back with another match after this.
Hey everybody, What Were They Thinking is proud to be a part of the show with Herb Simmons at SICW.
Show some enthusiasm, Joe. Put on a damn bow tie. We got Herb Simmons. We got the Kill Arena. We got St. Louis, where Mr. Briscoe is in the Hall of Fame. What Were They Thinking? It's available on Backstage Pass. Sportskeetas, our buddies. We talk about the wildest, the craziest, the dumbest, the insane moments in wrestling history that I'm proud to be a part of because, Mr. Briscoe, you're the one that hired me.
And I don't know what I was thinking when I did that, John.
That's not nice. Not nice at all. We love Herb Simmons. And Herb Simmons, you have been there forever. Mr. Briscoe thinks you might be 1,000. I don't think you're a day over 900. We love St. Louis. What were they thinking, Backstage Pass?
Wrestling fans, there's nothing better than barbecue and wrestling. When you're hungry, stop by Mr. Barbecue with 2 locations to serve you in Columbia and Waterloo, Illinois. Great barbecue, cold beverages, and SICW wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, join us as we pay tribute to one of wrestling's under-acknowledged stars, a veteran grappler by the name of Ron Starr. Mr. Starr passed away this past June, so in his honor, let's take a trip back in time to Wrestling at the Chase. It's October 14th, 1979, as Ron Starr locks up with Kevin Von Erich.
The fans here in the KPLR TV studio have a tough choice as Ron Starr and Kevin Von Erich shake hands. Who to root for? I imagine they'll try to split it and root for both because there should be some dandy wrestling involved in this. Starr goes behind Kevin. Von Erich switches nicely. He's behind Starr. Starr returns the favor, takes Kevin down, tried to roll him into a cradle. Kevin reaches behind him. Starr blocks that with the arm. Kevin brings Starr over the hip, comes up with a wrist lock on Ron Starr. Starr rolls over, gets Chuck Riley. Kevin Von Erich thrown over the side by Ron Starr. A fast-moving exchange that even involved the referee, Chuck Riley. Starr checks to make sure Riley's okay, which he is. A lot of referees will tell you a match like this with good, quick, scientific action is sometimes harder to work than a rough match. Clean break. The crowd appreciates it. Ron Starr with an armbar, working also in the wrist area on Kevin Von Erich. Starr twists the arm of Kevin. Starr twisting some more, trying to force Kevin down to the mat. Starr really applying the pressure to Kevin Von Erich, and you can see right where that leg is, underneath the shoulder, making it even harder for Kevin Von Erich to regain his feet. So Kevin flips over, comes up, counters to a wrist lock, down goes Starr. Good move by Kevin Von Erich. 2 good wrestlers here. How do you handicap one like this, Mick? Tough one to pick.
This is really tough. I mean, scientific and great. 2 top wrestlers right here. This Starr is something else, you know?
Good counter there by Starr to go to the hammerlock on Kevin Von Erich. Kevin trying to come to his feet while trapped in the hammerlock of Ron Starr. Counter by Kevin Von Erich. This will be a good lesson on counters, takedowns, escapes. Starr comes up on top, goes behind Kevin. Kevin rolls over and out. They both come up quickly and they're eye to eye. Good wrestling by both men, and they know it. They respect each other. Something that Dory Funk Jr. talked about last weekend when he said, well, I want to wrestle him, but I respect him too. I don't know if Dory Jr. has that much respect for Dick Murdoch, though. He respects his toughness, I'm sure, and the fact that he's won many big matches. But whether or not he respects him in terms of a professional level of the type of tactics that Murdoch uses, well, that I would question whether Dory Jr. has that type of respect for someone like Dick Murdoch. He apparently does for the Von Erich clan. Ron Starr with the side headlock on Kevin Von Erich. Wonder if Starr is thinking about that body scissors Kevin has been developing. He can use it both as a pin, and we hear now as a submission. He's developed enough strength in his legs. It's very important, of course, the positioning of the legs, the extension of the muscles so that they're in the proper spot of the opponent's body. Starr twisting back on Kevin Von Erich's head with that side headlock. Of course, a lot of the fans have seen some of the pictures that were contained in the wrestling program of that body scissors. Flying tackle by Starr, and that showed photos of hip toss by Kevin Von Erich. Kevin kicked away by Starr. No body press there. Side headlock by Starr. Down goes Kevin. As we were saying, it was actually a sequence of photos which showed Kevin starting out on the burlap bag. Full bag, full of, I believe it was wheat at the time. Kevin put the body scissors on that bag, and as he can do very often now, literally squeezed it, smashed the bag wide open, and emptied that bag. Now think, if he can do that with a burlap bag around wheat, that is difficult to do. Try it sometime. Find out how hard it is to do. Think what he can do to someone's midsection.
Yeah, I hate to see that happen.
There's the head scissors by Kevin Von Erich. Starr ended up in the ropes, and Starr has to shake his head. That head scissors obviously just as effective as the body scissors.
The one thing about Von Erich, he's got that drop kick, they got that claw hold, and then, you know, they got so many holds.
So many things you can think about and worry about. That body scissors, though, really a hold that he got the idea from Joe Stecher. Joe Stecher, by way of saying much, like I used to say, because I believe Stecher was dead by the time Kevin was born. Stecher was a 3-time world heavyweight champion, originally winning the title in 1915. His last reign began when he won it here in St. Louis in 1925.
5 minutes have elapsed, 10 minutes left.
Joe Stecher popularized the body scissors, used it as a submission hold, and like Kevin, trained by breaking open bags of wheat. Sam Muchnick was aware of this. He'd seen Stecher when Sam was a sports writer for the old St. Louis Times, and when he saw Kevin, the power that Kevin had in his legs, he got Kevin aside and says, Kevin, this is something you should think about. He explained a little bit about it to him. Kevin did some research on his own, and with the help of his father and brother David, trained on strengthening those legs, and now that body scissors is just about perfected. Starr carrying Kevin Von Erich to the corner. Kevin lifted over the side. Chuck Rowley wants a clean break and gets one from Ron Starr. Another round of applause for two sportsmanlike competitors, Ron Starr and Kevin Von Erich. Kevin with a leg dive, doesn't get there. Starr eluded it. Both men pretty quick. Right now it's like a chess match. Each one's looking for a little opening. Well, where can I get into this guy? What can I do to him to slow him down or get him down the mat? Starr shakes his head. You're not going to get me that way. They tie up. Starr moves behind Kevin Von Erich with a full Nelson. Kevin, will he try to muscle his way out of it? He's just behind for Starr's head. Couldn't pull him forward. Kevin flexing. Drops out. Beautiful move by Kevin Von Erich. Starr managed to roll him away. Good escape by Kevin Von Erich. Starr shakes his head, and I think it's as much an admiration and respect for Kevin's ability as anything. Starr with a fireman's carry. Comes up with an arm lock on Kevin Von Erich. Starr puts his knee against Kevin's head. Kevin rolls under, forcing his way to his feet. No, he's not coming off that knee because Starr has the leverage right now. Starr pulling on the arm of Kevin Von Erich. Pretty even so far. A lot of good moves by both men. Oh, Kevin got out and came out flying with a drop kick. Kevin landed heavily, and Starr got tagged just on the face. He almost got away, but not quite. And Kevin landed heavily himself because his drop kick was not totally accurate, and that allowed Starr to regain the armbar on Kevin Von Erich. Kevin hooked the leg. He was going to go for the fireman's carry. Starr realized it and lifted that leg away. The two men end up in the ropes. Clean break by Kevin Von Erich. Well, neither man's had much of a head yet. No near pins. Pretty even so far. Good test. A good demonstration of holds. I don't think the match between Dory Funk Jr. and Dick Murdoch is going to be quite like this. Murdoch's a heck of a wrestler. Don't kid yourself. He knows what to do. He knows the holds. He knows the escapes. He knows how to get those quick little cradles that mean victory sometime. That could end up a war. And I'll tell you, when Kevin Von Erich takes on Bobby Duncombe, Duncombe's a totally different type of opponent than Ron Starr. Duncombe, much bigger, coming in around 290 pounds. He's a brawler. He gets in there, uses his weight, leans on him, into him constantly, using his weight and his size, trying to wear down an opponent. And of course, he has that bulldog headlock, which has been very effective for him. So Kevin Von Erich first with Ron Starr, and then, of course, coming up with Bobby Duncombe. Two tough tests for Kevin Von Erich, two totally different styles. Starr dumps Kevin over and gets his arm free. Kevin says pretty good. He really could immobilize that left hand. Oop, look out, Star was in a cradle. That's as close as we've been to a pin there. He had a count of 2 on Star's shoulders. And it caused Star to release the short arm scissors. Another warm round of applause for Ron Starr and Kevin Von Erich. Cautiously, tentatively, they reach out, lock fingers. Test of strength between Ron Starr and Kevin Von Erich. Both men bending, twisting, trying to find out where the edge is. They come around backwards, come around frontwards. Kevin comes out, gets a wrist lock. Good work by Kevin Von Erich on Ron Starr. Starr tossed over the hip. Kevin with the wrist lock. Starr cries out as Kevin pours on the pressure with that wrist lock. Now Starr twists about. Couldn't bring it all the way over. Too much pressure from Kevin Von Erich.
Three minutes left, 3 minutes.
3 minutes remain in a very even battle between Ron Starr and Kevin Von Erich. Kevin tripped down by Starr. Kevin counters nicely to the hammerlock on Ron Starr. Kevin Von Erich with the hammerlock. Chuck Riley is told by Starr that Starr will not give up. Kevin twists that hammerlock even further up behind the back of Ron Starr. You're going to have to earn it, says Kevin to Ron Starr. Starr with a fireman's carry breaks the arm free. Starr was going to pounce. Kevin was already poised to spring. Starr locks both arms, double arm lock. He might be able to flip him over with a double arm suplex, but Kevin can get underneath too. Double arm suplex by Starr. He goes for the pin. Count of 1. Kevin Von Erich throws off Ron Starr. Starr going for the vertical suplex. Yes, the suplex by Ron Starr. This could be it. No, not even a count of 1. And Kevin Von Erich survives the suplex. Von Erich with a blow to the stomach and then a drop kick. Floors Ron Starr. Kevin trips the legs to dump Ron Starr. Leg snap by Kevin Von Erich. The leg snap. Yanking back on that hamstring, snapping it, hurting it. Elbow smash to the head by Ron Starr. The match getting a little rougher now. The temper's getting a little bit more worn. Kevin Von Erich flipped to the ropes. Oh, they both tried drop kicks. Both men tried drop kicks, and both men go down. They'll have a count of 10. Starr was up for the drop kick, just as Kevin Von Erich went up to try a drop kick himself.
1 minute left, 1 minute.
Only a minute remaining. Kevin lifts Starr, body slam by Kevin Von Erich. He covers Starr, but cannot keep those shoulders down. Kevin hits the rope. What's this? Giant splash? Oh, he missed. Starr rolled away the giant splash, missed. Starr mounts the ropes. Starr with the atomic drop, and he misses. Starr trying to dive bomb Kevin Von Erich off the ropes, but Kevin had enough presence of mind to roll away. Both men a bit the worse for wear right now. Kevin whipped to the ropes. Starr tries to flip him. Jackknife and cradle. Jackknife and cradle. Count of 1. Oh, and Starr rolls those shoulders off. There's the body scissors. There's that body scissors, and Starr goes for the ropes. The body scissors by Kevin Von Erich, and Starr had to go for the ropes to save himself. Oh, that body scissors was on Ron Starr, and Starr is gasping as he comes up. There's the bell, and we may almost have seen the debut of that body scissors as a submission hold on television, but they were too near the ropes, and as soon as Kevin Von Erich put it on, Starr grabbed those ropes. They congratulate each other and are rewarded with a warm round of applause. They deserve it. Great match. Here's Mickey.
With time
SICW FanFest 3 is almost here. Meet your favorite wrestling superstars. May 16th and 17th, St. Louis. Get up close and personal with wrestling legend. SICW.org. Come on, do it right now. SICW.org. Don't wait. Make plans May 16th and 17th at the Hilton St. Louis Airport. SICW Fan Fest 3.
To St. Louis was a bit of a homecoming for Kevin Von Erich, who was actually born not in Texas, but here locally in Belleville, Illinois. And of course, everyone's familiar with our local resident roughneck, the Dirty Dick Murdoch. So fans, let's see what happens when these two legendary grapplers cross paths.
Tangaro begins counting on Murdoch to get him away from that corner. Murdoch complains. A picture of innocence about the fist of Kevin Von Erich. Murdoch still not too happy. Kevin's hands are open now, though. When I have a test of strength, we shall see. Murdoch the heavier man, but Kevin Von Erich puts those fingers back and Murdoch cries out. Kevin Von Erich right now winning the test of strength. Look at those arms on Kevin Von Erich. Look at the biceps, the shoulders, the forearms just bulge. Is it any wonder that right now Kevin Von Erich is winning this test of strength? Murdoch gets to a standing position and is tagged with a drop kick. Knee drop to the shoulder by Kevin Von Erich. Flying elbow drop nails Murdoch to the mat. Kevin Von Erich brings Murdoch to his feet. Oh, he went for the flying mare. Murdoch spotted that rib cage open, and now Murdoch pulls back on the mouth and nose of Kevin Von Erich and yanks back on the nose. Kevin staggered. Murdoch grabs Kevin by the hair and slams Von Erich's head into the top turnbuckle. Flying mare by Murdoch. Elbow drop by Murdoch. That was the same elbow drop that Murdoch used a few weeks back to defeat Bobo Brazil. Count of one. It does not defeat Kevin Von Erich here. Murdoch coming in cautiously. And well, he did, because Kevin, while he's taken a few lumps here in the last minute or so, was waiting. Murdoch, very cool, keeping his head. Experience counts. Don't kid yourself. And don't kid yourself that Kevin Von Erich's got a lot more than his tender years would indicate. Don't forget, he's been on a mat ever since he was 6 or 7 years old. With his father, with his brothers, with many of the top wrestlers who passed through Texas. Kevin Von Erich would shanghai those guys and say, hey, I've got a couple kids here. I think they have the ability. Would you work with them for a while? And they would. Some of them. Abdominal stretch. Hey, Kevin Von Erich with the abdominal stretch on Murdoch right in the middle of the ring. Right in the middle of the ring. Will Murdoch concede? Kevin pulling back, stretching out the arm, stretching the back. Kevin with the abdominal stretch. Murdoch trying to pull the hand off the neck, grabs the hair, and manages to break up the abdominal stretch, but Kevin stays on Murdoch. Could roll him into a pin position, but not there. They're right in the ropes. Oh, Kevin Von Erich, like lightning. Like lightning. Kevin Von Erich had that abdominal stretch on Murdoch right in the middle of the ring. And now Murdoch takes a slow walk on the floor. He has a 20 count, and it would not be surprising to see Murdoch use a good 17 or 18 of that 20. Dick Murdoch taking full advantage of that count. Murdoch complaining because Kevin Von Erich's so close. He crawls cautiously through those ropes. Dick Murdoch. Tumultuous, turbulent, controversial, they all fit for Dick Murdoch. Knee lift to the stomach by Murdoch, and then a hard pop to the back by Murdoch. Kevin fights back. Hard uppercut by Murdoch knocks Von Erich to the corner. Another uppercut by Dick Murdoch, and Tangaro is incensed with Murdoch.
10 minutes have expired, 10 minutes left.
10 minutes have passed. There are 10 minutes remaining. Murdoch going for the suplex, his Texas Brainbuster as he calls it. The suplex, the Brainbuster, whatever you want to call it. There it is, the suplex by Dick Murdoch. This could, oh no, hey! Kevin survived the Texas Brainbuster of Murdoch. He kicked Murdoch off, and he didn't even wait till the count of 2. Murdoch with an elbow to the neck of Kevin Von Erich. Oh, going for the pile driver. Going for the pile. Oh, hey, Kevin blocked it. Kevin blocked it. Beautiful use of balance by Kevin Von Erich, and then he flipped Murdoch over the top. A kick to the head by Kevin Von Erich. Kevin with a punch right to the top of Murdoch's head. Drop kick by Kevin Von Erich. Murdoch seems shaken. I think he was stunned more than anything that his suplex, his Texas Brainbuster, did not do the job. Kevin hits the ropes. Giant splash. Oh, no. Right into the upraised knees of Murdoch. Right into those upraised knees. Kevin landing full force with his stomach across those knees. That could be the break Murdoch wanted. This could be it. Kevin Von Erich's giant splash backfiring. Murdoch stomping on the jaw of Kevin Von Erich. Kevin gasping, trying to get wind. Murdoch moving behind Kevin Von Erich, goes for the atomic knee drop. Kevin blocked it. Kevin stiffened the legs. He has a claw. Kevin has a claw. The iron claw on Dick Murdoch. Kevin Von Erich blocked the atomic knee drop. Kevin with the claw on Murdoch. Murdoch trying to pull the hand off. Trying to pull the claw away. He can't do it. Murdoch trying to pull that claw off of his forehead. He can't do it. Kevin Von Erich with the iron claw on Dick Murdoch. Kevin surviving the giant splash backfire, surviving the Texas Brainbuster. Now it's Kevin with the claw on Murdoch. Murdoch beginning to sag down to the mat. Murdoch down, the shoulders down. The referee counts 1, counts 2. Murdoch gets that shoulder up. Murdoch, in desperation, managed to lift that shoulder. Murdoch to the ropes. Oh, Murdoch tangled up with Kevin Von Erich. Kevin went sailing over the top rope, 10 foot high above the concrete floor. Kevin with a punch to Murdoch's stomach. Murdoch, even groggy in pain, he's looking around, he's dazed, he's looking for Kevin, finds him. Murdoch slams Kevin's head into the top turnbuckle. Murdoch, a bit desperate right now, I think. He grabs one of the microphone cables. Murdoch with a microphone cable. Going after Kevin Von Erich. Murdoch with that microphone cable around the neck of Von Erich. Von Erich clamps on the claw again. Von Erich clamps on the claw again. Murdoch turns loose of the cable as the claw takes some more of its toll on Dick Murdoch. Kevin Von Erich crawling over those ropes to get into the ring on top of Murdoch. The claw, the iron claw, puts Murdoch down. Can Kevin keep him there, though? Murdoch will never give up. I'll guarantee you that. Murdoch will never quit. But if he's unconscious, he'll have no choice. Kevin Von Erich with the claw, the crowd standing, screaming. Here comes Bulldog Brown. Bulldog Brown, who was Murdoch's partner last week, came running into the ring. He attacked Kevin Von Erich, the referee calling for the bell. Brown all over Kevin Von Erich. It was a cinch that the iron... Here comes Kaniski. Here comes Gene Kaniski. Kaniski after Brown. Joe Tangaro calling for some help. We have a riot on our hands. Kaniski and Brown. Von Erich and Murdoch. Brown pitched to the ropes. Kaniski nails him with a chop to the throat. Kaniski coming to help Kevin Von Erich against Murdoch. Tangaro almost powerless to break up this brawl. Here comes Ron McFarland to try and help restore order. Here comes Rock Hunter, who's on the card later today. We are having a brawl. Referee Lee Warren trying to pull Von Erich. Murdoch, here comes George Wells. Here comes Bruce Reed. Bulldog Brown has left, but Kaniski, Von Erich, Murdoch are all tangled up. Reed and Wells trying to calm down Von Erich. Von Erich gone berserk, so is Murdoch. Kaniski in the middle of it, trying to protect Kevin Von Erich. I'm sure the official verdict's going to be that there is a disqualification against Murdoch for interference by Brown. Look at Murdoch trying to get get back at Kevin Von Erich. Kaniski trying to keep him from Von Erich. Von Erich simply gone wild. We have a convention in that ring trying to restore order. Kevin Von Erich and Dick Murdoch, tooth and nail, battling with each other. Murdoch and Von Erich finally separated. Wells, Reed, and Kaniski trying to calm Kevin Von Erich. Kevin trying to crawl between the legs of Kaniski and get at Murdoch. McFarland and Hunter restraining Murdoch. And Kaniski has stomped on the hand of Murdoch to get his hand out of the hair of Kevin Von Erich. You know the guy who started all this left, Bulldog Bob Brown. He started this Donnybrook. Kaniski ran him out of the ring, and now it's mainly a question of trying to separate Von Erich and Murdoch. Gene Kaniski, Bruce Reed, George Wells hanging on to Kevin Von Erich, McFarland and Hunter pulling back Dick Murdoch, and I think we're going to try and get the official verdict from Mickey Garagiola now. I'm sure it's going to be a disqualification against Murdoch for interference by Brown. Here comes Murdoch again. He hits referee Warren, and he's after Von Erich. He's after Von Erich once more. Murdoch's nose bleeding. Kevin with that club trying to get, now Murdoch takes a punch at Wells, and George Wells squares off with Murdoch. Murdoch with a bloody nose. Another Donnybrook created mainly by Dick Murdoch and by Bulldog Bob Brown. I think we have order restored. Kevin trying to get back in, but Kaniski pushing him back, saying, take it easy. Kaniski keeping Kevin Von Erich from coming back after Dick Murdoch.
SICW presents FanFest 3, St. Louis, May 16th and 17th. Hilton, St. Louis Airport, the Keena Cola, Missy Hyatt, Gangrel, Teddy Long and Mac Davis, Tito Santana, and Bill Apter. More to come. SICW FanFest 3. For more info, SICW.org.